A Model 3 owner came into my shop last spring convinced his battery was dying. Range had dropped almost 50 miles over 6 months, just slowly bleeding away week after week. He had already been Googling replacement costs, $15,000, maybe $20,000 depending on the pack. I ran the diagnostics, pulled up the battery health data, and told him his pack was perfectly fine. I showed him a free fix he could do at home. 2 weeks later, he texted me, every single mile was back. I will show you exactly what that fix was later in this video, because it is one of the easiest things on this list to get wrong. That's one of 10 mistakes new Tesla owners keep making. Some cost a couple $100, a few will cost you thousands, and at least 2 of them are quietly affecting your car right now. Let's get into it. Number 10. Ignoring the air conditioning condensation drain until your carpet is soaked. Your Tesla's air conditioning produces condensation that normally drains through a small tube underneath the car. On the Model 3 and Model Y, that drain line sits right where road debris and pollen clog it over time. When it blocks up, water backs into the cabin and pools under the passenger side carpet. A pipe cleaner or a blast of compressed air clears the blockage in 30 seconds. Miss it, and the water soaks into the carpet padding, sits against the wiring harness, and starts corroding connectors. Then you are looking at $150 to $250 at the service center for something a pipe cleaner could have prevented. Number 9. Running the wrong tire pressure for an electric vehicle. Owners coming from gas cars set their tire pressure at 32 to 35 pounds per square inch because that's what they've always done. Tesla recommends 42 pounds per square inch for the Model 3 and 40 to 45 pounds per square inch for the Model Y. That's way higher than what feels normal, but the difference matters. Roughly 0.3% of your range disappears for every single pound per square inch below the recommended value. Temperature makes it worse. Tires lose about 1 pound per square inch for every 10 degrees Fahrenheit drop. That fall to winter transition can easily reduce pressure by 5 to 8 pounds per square inch without anyone touching anything. Check at least monthly, check weekly in winter, and always check before you drive that day. Check the sticker on the door jamb for the correct pressure, not the number printed on the tire sidewall. Number 8. Draining below 20% regularly and then wondering why your battery is aging. This mistake does not show up on a repair bill right away. It shows up 2 or 3 years later when your range has dropped noticeably more than it should have, and by then the damage is baked in. Lithium-ion cells packed into the battery tray underneath your Tesla experience the most stress at the very bottom and very top of their charge range. The sweet spot for daily driving is between 20 and 80%. Owners who routinely run their battery down to 5 or 10% before plugging in are putting significantly more stress on the cells every cycle compared to someone who plugs in at 30%. The numbers tell the story. One owner who heavily relied on supercharging and regularly ran the battery low lost about 20% of total capacity by 195,000 miles. Another owner who stayed in the 20 to 80% window showed only 1.5% degradation. Same car, same chemistry, completely different results. Tesla's warranty covers degradation below 70% at the designated mileage. But the slide from 100% down to 70% happens at very different speeds depending on your habits. The fix is simple. Plug in earlier, don't wait until you're desperate. If you have a home charger, set it to keep the battery between 30% and 80% for daily use. Save the deep discharges and full charges for road trips and the occasional battery management system calibration. Number 7. Not protecting Tesla's thin paint before it's too late. Tesla's paint measures under 4¼ mils thick. The industry average is about 5 mils. That gap means your car can handle 2, maybe 3 light polishes over its entire life before you're down to primer. And on the highway, this thin paint turns into a rock chip magnet. One owner described his front bumper and hood as peppered with chips after 100,000 miles. Rock chip repairs at Tesla certified body shops start at $800. A full panel respray runs $1,500 to $3,000. paint protection film on the front bumper, hood, and fenders costs $600 to $2,500 depending on coverage. One avoided respray, and the film has already paid for itself. At minimum, wrap the front end within the first month and stay away from automated car washes entirely. Number 6. Never calibrating your battery management system, BMS. Remember the owner from the beginning of this video? The one who came in panicking about 50 miles of lost range and a $15,000 battery replacement? This is what I did for him, and it's probably the most common unnecessary scare in Tesla ownership. The BMS tracks the energy in your cells and estimates how far you can drive, but it needs data from full charge cycles to stay accurate. If you always charge between 50 and 80%, which is the standard daily advice, the system starts filling in the gaps with conservative guesses. Over a few months, your displayed range drifts lower and lower, while the actual battery capacity hasn't changed at all. Here's the process. Let your battery run down below 10%. Park overnight without plugging in. Then charge all the way to 100% and let it sit until the range estimate stops showing a calculating message on the touchscreen. Do that 2 or 3 times over a couple weeks, and you can recover up to 6% of your displayed range. On a long-range battery, that's 15 to 20 miles you thought were gone forever. Run this every 3 to 6 months and your range display stays honest. That owner did exactly this. Every mile came back, free, but that's not the only thing quietly draining your wallet. These next 4 mistakes catch new owners off guard constantly. Number 5. Letting the cabin air filter turn into a science experiment. If your AC smells like a gym locker every time it kicks on, congratulations. You've discovered what happens when a cabin air filter goes 2 or 3 years without a replacement. That funky smell is mold and bacteria growing on the evaporator coils behind a clogged filter, and breathing it in every day is about as healthy as it sounds. Tesla recommends swapping the filter every 2 years on most models, but pricing at service centers is all over the place. One owner was quoted $235 for this job. Another owner with the exact same car paid $56 at a different location. Same filter, same 15-minute procedure, wildly different bills. Here's the move. Buy the filter yourself for $22 to $40 online. Grab a T20 Torx screwdriver, pop open the glove box, remove a few screws behind it, slide the old filter out, slide the new one in, done in 15 minutes. There are dozens of walkthroughs showing every step. If you wait too long and mold actually develops on the evaporator coils, the cleaning bill runs an extra $133 to $175 on top of the filter, all avoidable with a $20 filter and a screwdriver twice a year. If you're finding this helpful, subscribe. We cover Tesla maintenance and money-saving tips every week so you can keep your car running right without overpaying at the service center. Now let's talk about 3 more mistakes that are quietly costing new owners serious money. Number 4. Blaming battery degradation when it is actually a bad wheel alignment. This mistake causes the most unnecessary stress because the symptoms look exactly like a dying battery. Your range starts dropping a few miles every week. You run the battery management system calibration from earlier in this video and the numbers still come up short. You start Googling battery replacement costs and see estimates of $15,000 to $20,000. The whole time, the actual problem is in your front suspension, and it costs about $120 to fix. Teslas are 800 to 1,200 pounds heavier than a comparable gas sedan. All that extra weight means your suspension takes a bigger hit from every pothole and curb strike. One solid pothole at highway speed can knock your toe angle off enough to cause real problems. And on an electric vehicle, misaligned tires dragging slightly sideways eat directly into range. There is no engine waste heat to mask the loss like in a gas car. Every fraction of a degree shows up on your range display. The rough math is 3 to 5% range loss for every degree of toe deviation. On a car with 300 miles of range, that is 9 to 15 miles disappearing on every charge. Compounding as uneven tire wear makes it worse. Tesla service does not always include an alignment check with tire rotations. The car will not throw a warning telling you the alignment is off. It just quietly loses range while you stare at the screen wondering what happened. Get an alignment check once a year or immediately after hitting anything significant. Any tire shop can do it for $100 to $150. That one visit might save you months of range anxiety and the cost of a battery you never actually needed. Number 3. Treating every Tesla battery the same way. This is where the confusion runs deepest, because the correct charging advice depends entirely on which type of battery is inside your car, and a surprising number of owners have no idea there are different types with opposite rules. If your Tesla has an NCA or NMC battery, which covers long-range and performance models, the standard advice applies. Keep your daily charge limit around 80% on the charging screen. Only go to 100% for road trips. Charging these batteries to full regularly puts extra stress on the cells and accelerates long-term degradation. But if you have an LFP battery, which comes standard in the base Model 3 and Model Y, the rules flip completely. Tesla specifically tells LFP owners to charge to 100% every day. You should complete a full charge at least once a week so the battery management system can recalibrate properly. Treating an LFP battery like an NCA battery by keeping it between 50 and 80% makes your range estimate drift further and further from reality. To check which one you have, open the software menu on the Tesla touchscreen and look under additional vehicle information. Your battery chemistry is listed right there. One more thing about charging that trips up new owners. Supercharger pricing varies wildly depending on location and time of day. Charging at home on a standard outlet costs roughly $11 to $15 for a full battery. But supercharger rates in places like California can hit 60 to 75 cents per kilowatt hour during peak demand. One owner paid $55 for a single charging session. If you are depending on superchargers exclusively and you live in a high-cost electricity area, run the math. You might not be saving anything compared to filling a gas tank. Number 2, getting blindsided by Tesla tire wear. This hits every single Tesla owner's wallet eventually, and almost nobody is ready for it. 3 things combine to eat through tires way faster than any gas car you have owned. Instant torque from the electric motors shreds rubber on every hard acceleration. The battery pack adds 800 to 1,200 extra pounds compared to a similar gas sedan, pressing down on the tread constantly. And the friction from regenerative braking creates wear patterns that regular cars never produce. Put that all together, and tires that would last 50 to 60,000 miles on your old car now need replacing at 20 to 35,000. Performance model owners sometimes burn through a set in 15,000 miles. One Model 3 owner paid over $2,000 at a Tesla service center for 4 tires and an alignment at 35,000 miles. A Model Y performance owner was quoted $600 per tire and was told the foam-lined acoustic tires cannot be plugged after a nail puncture. A simple flat tire turned into a full replacement. Skip Tesla service for tires entirely. Costco, Discount Tire, and other major tire shops carry the exact same Michelin and Continental tires for roughly $900 total installed versus $1,500 or more at Tesla. Rotate every 6,250 miles, which is Tesla's official number. That is way more frequent than the 10,000-mile schedule carried over from gas cars. On rear-wheel drive models, the rear tires wear 25 to 40% faster than the fronts. Skip rotations, and you will replace the rears twice while the fronts still have tread left. That is basically doubling your tire bill for no reason, when a $25 to $50 rotation would have prevented it. Number 1. Not knowing Tesla has a real maintenance schedule. This might be the most important item on this list because it affects literally everything else we just talked about. Tire rotations, cabin air filters, brake components, coolant. All of it falls under a maintenance schedule that Tesla buries in the owner's manual, while their marketing tells you these cars need zero upkeep. That's true for oil changes and spark plugs. It is absolutely not true for brake fluid testing, AC drying bag replacement, caliper cleaning, suspension lubrication, and half a dozen other items that quietly compound into major failures when owners ignore them for 5 or 6 years. One skipped AC drying bag at $240 can eventually lead to a full heating and cooling system replacement at $4,500. One skipped caliper lubrication can seize the caliper and cost thousands. These are cheap, simple items on schedule. They become expensive disasters off schedule. I actually made an entire video breaking down every single item on the Tesla maintenance schedule, what it costs, when it is due, and which ones you can do yourself. If you want the full breakdown, that video is on screen now. It is called the only Tesla maintenance schedule you'll ever need, and it covers everything this video does not have time to cover.